Manchester, here's Peter White.
You are ready to go today. I could tell.
Yes, I am.
I think he's pretty much shot out of a cannon today.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks great. He's
fabulous.
very, very smooth shaved. He looks like he got some rest from his big trip last week.
Yes, I did.
So we will check in with Mike in a second. We have a great, great show for you today. We've been talking about it for 2 weeks. Our friend, our colleague, Rob Azevedo will be here this morning to talk about his brand new book, Notes from the Last Breath Farm, a music junkie's quest to be heard. I read the book yesterday. It is fresh in my mind, and we'll talk about it with Rob this morning. So we have 54 degrees outside. It's a little chilly this morning, but another beautiful spring morning here in the Queen City. So I hope everyone's doing well. We're almost there. We're almost there. What are you doing over the holiday weekend, Darryl?
Well, I just spoke to Samantha last night. We're going to have a little barbecue on Sunday.
On Sunday,
Yeah,
all right.
burgers and dogs.
Okay, very good. Very good. So, yeah, we won't be here on Monday.
You got the day off?
Yeah, we have the day. You take the day off, Darryl.
Thank you.
Mike, we will take the day off. Somebody tell Laura that we are...
I think you already told me.
Well, I know, but she's come in before, and because I forgot to tell her.
Right.
And that's what I do. I disappoint everybody.
Stop it.
Well, you know. All right, so...
And what are you doing on over the weekend?
I think it's all up in the air.
Okay.
Yeah. Not sure yet.
Okay.
Maybe I might go away. I'll surprise you.
Don't forget to come back.
Now, of course I'll be back. Of course I'll be back. All right, hey, I got big news here. I got breaking news, big news from the morning show Family. And I believe he's going to be making an appearance here this morning. But our friend Gonzo, Mike Gonzalez, his baby boy Micah was born yesterday at 2:04 a.m. in the morning. And Micah was, 8 pounds, 9 ounces, 21 inches long. So the world just got a little cooler with
Most definitely.
another gonzo out there. Be walking the streets, think about it. And it's funny now, if you say the name Micah Gonzalez, it's like Micah Gonzalez.
Got a nice ring.
Right, it does have a nice ring.
I like it. Is his wife still in the hospital?
You know what? I don't know. I just Facebook messaged.
Okay, we're going to find out probably.
We will. But he said he would be here. But I have a hard time. That's a brand new. No, I'm sure they're home. I'm sure they're home by now.
Generally speaking, they like to let the women, the wives, out of there ASAP if they're in good health and everything's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Same day.
Exactly.
Not really the same day. Usually an overnight visit.
Generally just overnight.
I'm going to tell you. This is what happened to me. So, Abby was born, and I think I mentioned this the other day. I'm like, okay, well, so they stayed the night in the hospital. I went home. It was like my last night of, I remember getting some beer or something, just kind of sitting there, and I remember the next day saying, well, if you guys if you need another night here, and you think you need another night here, you better let them know, so I could have another night like that.
Right.
That's what you do when you're 20.
The storm, man.
Well, that's what you do when you're 27.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't do that today. I think I was a different person then.
Quite possibly. We're talking 20
I
years ago.
might still do that today. Hold on. Now that I think about it. Maybe I haven't changed much.
You've changed.
Oh, boy. So, Mike, your trip, you're back. You long bus ride,
Yes.
and you made it back.
Yep.
And what have you been doing since?
Started back working at Fisher Cats on Tuesday. They've done it's a 7-game homestand concluded on Monday, so and then basically, so Saturday I went to go see SNU baseball play. They're in the Super Regionals this weekend. Saturday night I went to Panucci's, saw DEF CON play.
I guess everybody was there except me.
You and Kale.
Right.
Yeah. So Ed Murphy. Okay, so somehow Ed Murphy and I have been talking offline.
Yeah, sure.
Apparently, he was asking me about what happened to Lenny. I'm like, I have no idea. And
Right.
yeah,
Everyone wants to know.
yeah,
That would keep everyone guessing.
yeah.
But you know what about Ed Murphy is, we had that whole thing yesterday on the show with Scumpy and that whole thing, which was, I thought, great radio.
It was terrific.
And I talked to Scumpy outside after. Everything's cool.
Cool.
But now Ed Murphy throws something into the mix because he went to the DEF CON show. He actually went to the show.
Yeah.
And I guess he doesn't, him and Scumpy, do they know each other?
I don't know.
Because no one said anything to Ed Murphy except Mike maybe, right?
Oh, I started Murphy there, and then
So you didn't, so I think Ed Murphy got dissed by Scumpy.
Really?
I met Matt Connor for the first time.
I
Easy
can't-
G showed up. Oh my god, that was right at the beginning. And then he was like out in a flash because he didn't like the music.
Really?
So he didn't stay long?
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
How did you like the music?
I only stayed for an hour. This is the second time I've seen DEF CON.
Okay.
Both at Panucci's.
So you were there at the last one?
Not the last one. This was probably
Last summer?
3-4 years ago at the old Panucci's over on.
Oh.
Yeah, right after Thanksgiving, I think, if I remember
Wow.
right.
So you're a super fan of DEF CON.
Or not really super fan. I try to see a show if it's in Manchester.
Sure.
I liked it. I only hung out around for an hour because I wasn't really feeling it.
Yeah, you didn't.
Since I had just come back from my trip,
Well, plus, you're a younger guy, too, so you might not know some of those songs either. You know what I mean? Because they do go back. They do
How
go
far
back. Oh, I think they do 70s, 80s. They
Okay.
probably do some 90s, and yeah. Here's the thing. I've seen DEF CON before.
Right.
Right, last summer. That's right. You heard it. You heard it here. But so all in all, you had a good time?
had a good time.
Who else was there? Was everyone there from the morning show except me? Was Darryl there?
I didn't see him.
Right.
Caleb, I'm like, okay, I'm looking at who's supposed to be here. I'm like, okay, Caleb's not here, so I messaged her. She's like, I was too busy with yard work all day. And I'm like, I understand. And then I messaged you. You never got back to me.
Well, you know what? This is what you have to do now. You and I need to exchange phone numbers because I think if you texted me that way, you would get, because I don't get notices for my Facebook Messenger. I just go in and check it now and then.
Oh, okay.
And that's what happens there.
Okay.
So don't ever think I'm ignoring you. I see it like 5 hours later.
Yeah.
I got one. I think Mike said, "Peter, can you help me?" And it was like 2 days old.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. I think I remember that one.
Right.
And you're hoping he got help.
Yeah, I did. I checked in with him right away, and I think I told him. But now, was Pauly C in the front row at the DEF CON show?
I did not see Pauly C.
It's Pauly C.
So he didn't go either. So Scumpy must be mad at everybody.
He's happy I showed up.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, sure is. All right. Well, enough about that. So what else now? You said you had some kind of news about some hockey news about the local hockey team?
So it's been official for about a week, but there'll not be the Manchester Monarchs have officially disbanded. So basically, right now they're in search for another team so it looks like unless something happens really quick, there won't be a team at the arena this upcoming season, but maybe the next season
But they are on a search.
They're going to try to diversify the mix of what they have there, but it affects me very greatly because basically Monarchs is three-fourths my, I would say, three-fourths of my income from that place. So
Dramatic effect.
Yeah, dramatic effect on every. Yeah, I still have a job there. It's nice.
Right.
We have some.
But less work, though.
Yeah, less work unless they promote big time and they're going to try to bring in more concerts now and all that.
Yeah, maybe we can get DEF CON over there.
Yeah.
What? No?
Yeah.
Too soon to make those kind of jokes?
It might be too big a room.
We got to clear something up before rumors take off around Manchester. Ed Murphy's in the Facebook Live room. Good morning, Ed. He said he screwed up. It wasn't Jeff that dissed him. It was Lenny.
Yeah.
It was Lenny.
Yeah.
Really?
Ed went up. He goes, I said hi to him twice and said I knew him from the morning show, and he looked the other way.
Yeah.
But he may have been busy. Well, that's true. He may have been busy because he is the official road manager of DEF CON on their Resurrection tour.
Is he in charge of crowd control?
And security. And security. So that's where Len's been.
Okay.
It's a full-time job.
He's a busy guy.
Yeah.
But he is alive and well.
Yes. So, all right. Michael Alber, good morning. Who's in the Facebook Live room. Ellen Philbrook, good morning. And Debbie Lorendo says, happy Thirsty Thursday. Yes, Thirsty Thursday. That's true.
Yes.
Amy Hazard King, good morning to you. And, wow, so I think Gonzo's supposed to be popping in. I really do. And Rob's coming early, too.
Excellent.
So that's going to be something. So, wow, this whole DEF CON show at Panucci's has really turned into a real soap opera. You know,
Kinda.
It seems like it has this now. There's other people involved, Ed Murphy and Matt and
It's
so Matt,
all because you didn't show. I mean, really.
right? Oh yeah.
And were you supposed to show?
Well, I guess I was.
Apparently.
I guess I was supposed to
now
be
I'm
there.
starting to wonder, was I supposed to be there as well?
I don't know. Let's start our own band, Darryl.
All right.
You play saxophone, right?
Absolutely.
And Mike can sing Bohemian Rhapsody, awesome, right?
And Brooklyn Mike can play the guitar. We know he can sing.
Brooklyn Mike can sing though too.
Man, absolutely.
Let's just put Brooklyn Mike out there. Say good morning to Wake Stillman. Good morning, and Jan Beaupillard.
Wake
good morning
Stillman.
to you.
I haven't heard that name in many a moon.
Really, many a moon.
Many a moon.
And what do you think when you hear Wake Stillman?
Central coach.
Right.
Honestly, that's pretty much all I can remember because he was a central coach.
Mike will tell you all about him.
Yep. He's one of my assistant coaches with the AHI softball team, and basically, whenever I come on, he always watches, but he always tunes out when Carol comes on. Because
Why is that?
Why?
he thinks she's boring.
Okay, well, sometimes,
Yeah.
because we're trying to get some, some news out there and
Yeah.
everything. I can understand that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love Carol's voice.
Yeah, so basically, Coach Stillman's the only one on the softball team that's known Coach Finnegan, the head coach, longer because basically way back when Coach Finnegan was a kid and Coach Stillman was in his 20s, Coach Stillman actually coached Coach Finnegan in Pop Warner football.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
What I remember about Wake Stillman is I think he was a quarterback for Central back in the day.
Oh, really?
I think he was.
Yeah.
And that's just my memory of, after Schubert, after Jimmy played, in that period after that, perhaps. I'm not positive, though, so I
Right.
can't.
Wow, that's some real history right there.
Yeah.
Call in Coach Stillman and confirm that, please.
250-6007.
I think he was a QB.
All right. And we can say also good morning to Dave Rivard and Jason Page. Jason says, word up.
Word up.
Yeah. You don't know that lingo, do you, Darryl? Well, you're 70.
Stop.
Well, is it hard to hear now? Cause,
No.
oh, all right. I didn't know if it was hard to hear. It's better.
But what does word up mean?
Oh, it's just like a little catchphrase, right, Mike? What does word up mean, Mike? Do we know?
I'm going to look up right now.
All right. Word up.
I don't have a clue.
It's a song. There's a song by Cameo called Word Up.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have never known that.
Really? Well, Mike's going to look it up. Mike?
A lot of pressure, Mike.
Yeah. There's a magazine marketed to African Americans. I can't really find the definition. Both are generally used to mean I agree. It comes from the late 1980s hip hop slang.
Word up. Okay, I got it.
Right, word up. I couldn't stop it. I was digging it.
It was pretty good.
Right. Late 80s. Cameo, word up. You know it. So anyway, wow, all right. Okay, we're talking about Wake Stillman and all that, right?
Yes.
Right.
Before we get into word up. Thank you, Jason Page, for that. So we all know now. We all know. Kevin Martineau, good morning. And he says it to everybody on the morning show this morning.
Yep.
It seems like we got more folks on Facebook Live.
Well, there's a few in there this morning.
Okay.
There's a few in there this morning. So phone lines are open, 250-6007. We're waiting on Gonzo, and I can't wait to talk to Rob Azevedo about this. And we could talk about, he also is up for that columnist award also.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Rob Azevedo has
finalists.
become big time.
Oh, yeah.
Really. We're lucky to have him this morning on his media tour.
Yeah, really.
He's a hard guy to get.
Yeah. So while I was, not to change subject.
No, that's okay, Mike. Go ahead.
So while I was on my trip, so on the Sunday, I had an interview with Kyle Heavey.
Oh, you did.
So basically, Kyle and I planned this ahead so we can put it in a schedule and all that. I'm listening because we were waiting around the hotel. Basically, they had another call, so I had to wait. So my interview was a little bit later. So I was in my hotel room because my entire team was trying to listen in their various hotel rooms. And basically, they're like, when are we going to have you on? I'm like, very soon. So they disconnect the call. They just disconnect the other caller. I call in. Right when I'm in my room on the speakerphone talking to Kyle, I get a knock at my door.
Uh-oh.
Oh, let me guess.
Oh, hello, guys.
It wasn't Eric. Okay.
No,
okay.
no, it was not. Right when I was doing this interview, room service shows up.
Was it? Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Breakfast?
Or not, I'm like the housekeeping stuff, and basically, two of my coaches were listening in their room. Basically, when that happened, because I had it on speakerphone, because usually I don't because I usually like to talk from a distance.
Right.
Just so I can able to hear, just in case if I miss something.
That's right. We wouldn't want you to miss anything, Mike.
So basically that happened, and then basically, Coach Stillman and one of my other assistant coaches, Rick Burley, fell out of the bed laughing because of that happened.
They fell out of bed? Both of them?
Yeah, because they thought it was so funny. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Wow, very good. So do you like traveling? Because you were there. You stayed around a couple days, right?
Yeah.
How is Dubois?
It's a pretty nice little town. Even though they call it a city, even though it's only 8,000. According to the census, it's only 8,000, but they still call it a city. But it's a nice little city, nice little downtown area, nice parks. I basically refer it to as when I first went there last year, basically after seeing it, I'm like, this is a mini Manchester, New Hampshire, basically. I made the comparison.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Only a lot less people.
Yeah.
So what are you doing today, Mike?
So basically, I got a day game over the Fiscats.
Oh, a 10 o'clock game?
Or 11:30.
Oh, okay. Is it school's coming in?
New Hampshire College Day. So
Okay.
So
All right.
It'll be a lot of high school kids.
Is it typically just high school?
Or so they give this one because it's all the New Hampshire scholars. So basically, this one's all basically all high school upperclassmen.
Okay.
But then you have the other kids' day, like the one I missed last week, which is more elementary and all that. And then during the summer, they bring in summer camps and all that. So
Right.
Now, at an 11:30 game, can you get, if I went to it, could you get beer at 11:30?
yes, you could.
Okay.
I think the only day you probably couldn't would be maybe Sunday.
Really?
I think Sunday there's a blue law about not selling beer to a certain specific time.
Well, I think there's always a law you can't serve it. You can't serve it at 7 a.m. Can you? Maybe you can. What are those laws?
I don't know. I think they're called blue laws.
Well, okay. We know what color they are, Darryl.
But I don't know if they still exist.
Right.
So you can have a beer anytime you want, man.
You know, Wake Stillman says we thought you had a special. He thought you had someone in your room. Maybe a young lady. Is that what you're hearing, Mike?
Coach Joe went, please, let's go there. And they wanted to see if I wanted to have service done to my room. I'm like, well, let me wait. Let me come back when I leave for my banquet, which was a couple hours later.
So
okay.
they were the maids.
Housekeepers.
Housekeepers.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's a few.
Maids.
That's even another great scenario, Mike. Yes.
Were there more than one?
Yes.
There was only one.
Okay.
And no, I didn't do anything.
All right. All right. Good morning to Bill Burke and Mikey. Wow, this is all starting to come out now.
You know, honestly, the only guy that would have done anything had a person come in his room to clean it would be George Costanza.
Right.
I mean,
And Mike here is a pure gentleman. We know that already.
Absolutely.
I mean, if it was me, well, I'm a pure gentleman too.
Absolutely.
Right, Mike?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
There was
yeah?
a hesitation there. Maybe not.
Oh, we all went to Goldenrod yesterday afternoon.
All right. How good was it?
Oh, it was great. All of us did. We just went to Goldenrod because you can actually go inside.
Yes. Have a seat.
Right.
Order a great meal.
Did you hear Eric call yesterday and say, why haven't we
Oh, yeah.
been yet?
Don't be holding your breath, Eric.
Well, yeah. When's the last time you were on Valley Street? Right? Do you use Valley Street for anything?
Well, recently I've had actually my iGal is located on Valley Street.
Okay, so you have to go there.
I gotta go. Actually, my gal is the next door neighbor of Greenland,
Oh.
right next door.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like,
Wow, so you could go, when you get your eyes checked, you can go over to Creamland. We can walk right over.
Absolutely.
All right. What else is over on Valley Street these days?
Well, Gill Stadium is right across the street
Well, of
as well.
course, yeah, Gill Stadium.
Well, they give it up.
I know.
And they got that mall, Dollar Tree and
Yeah,
Dunkin'
that's all
Donuts.
changed since
Yeah,
I
it
was
has,
a kid,
it
though.
has.
Yeah.
I even go by it now, and I'm like, what the hell happened here?
I remember when it was JM Fields, Woolworths.
Yeah, Woolworths.
Oh, it was great.
Employment Security was over
Employment
there. And, of
Security.
course, the liquor store right next to Employment Security.
Absolutely.
There was a whole bunch of things over there. That was actually a Woolworth lunch counter.
Yes. Yes. And,
And
you
you
get
had-
served.
Well, and you had that other building that had the supermarket, which was many things. Last it was, I think, was it Allegro Star? No, Vista
I
Foods.
think
but
Vista Foods, right.
but
right,
it was
right.
Allegro Star before that. And
Yes,
then
it was.
before that, what was it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Well, we going predating JM Fields?
Well, no. Okay, I'm talking the other building in that parking lot
okay.
where
I'm trying to think.
Allegro's was.
Right, right. I'm trying to think.
There was a few supermarkets in there.
Short-lived, though.
Right, because Blake's was over there, too.
You're right.
And they had a big counter. It was an old-fashioned style Blake's.
Yeah. Wow. You're going back, man.
Yeah, but it's
Way back.
it's all different now.
Yeah, it is.
And there was one of those mini Amoskeag banks drive-thrus in there, too.
Yeah. And when you say mini, it was mini.
Right.
Yeah.
But wow, yeah. Spirit sales are controlled by the state. And 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. off premises until 11:45. Like you can buy beer up to 11:45 if you're in a store or something, I assume.
Okay.
I don't know. I used to be concerned about that, but I'm never, not anymore.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal at all. All right, we got to get Carol on the line, don't we?
Doop-de-doop-de-doop.
All right, Wake. I guess Wake's going to be tuning out now, so we'll say, Wake, you have a great day.
Have a great day.
So, Mike, what's you're going right here to the Fisher Cats?
Or I don't have to report until 9:45, so I got a little time to make the walk down, and then 11:35 game, so I'll be out by 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then probably go see a high school game this afternoon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, Mike just embeds himself with the community.
Unbelievable. Really.
It's great. All right, let's get Carol on the line. We will be right back with Manchester Inklink.
You're listening to Peter White. Call us at 250-6007. It's the morning show.
From ManchesterInklink.com, here's Carol Robideau.
Word up, Carol.
Word up. Word up.
I can't believe I didn't know what that meant. You know what? I think I actually am old.
I do have to say, Wake Stillman says Carol is great. Mike threw me under the bus.
Come on, Coach Stillman. Oh, here we go. Come on, Coach Stillman. You've told me in the van.
I've been called worse, and it's okay. I've had therapy in my life. I'm, getting older now, so things like that don't bother me anymore.
All right,
you know what? I think maybe I need some therapy.
Think?
Sometimes it can be helpful.
Really? Have you ever you've actually had therapy?
I hate to admit it, but yes.
You don't have to. You don't have to. Hey, a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
I just never have.
After 25 years in the car business, I definitely needed therapy.
Right.
Yeah, I've never actually had therapy. I was just kidding.
Okay.
But there's nothing wrong with therapy. I just haven't.
It was actually helpful,
really.
so no, there's nothing wrong with it.
But lots of people. I mean, think about it though. There's nothing. Sometimes it's just, you could, like it used to be. The old running joke was like you went to the bartender to tell all your problems, right?
Right.
Like that was a TV show thing. Everybody,
yeah.
Bartender hears everybody's problems because everybody needs to talk to somebody.
Isn't that Cheers?
And then I think then it just kind of, therapy became a thing more. Like back in the day, we just had psychiatrists, and they were really, and social workers, but they had hospital jobs, or the psychiatrists were for super crazy people in the hospital or something. But then there was this rise in mental health issues, and now everybody has a therapist or is a therapist. I think
or needs a therapist.
Well, I mean, to be serious and boring for a minute, I was going to say I went last night to this roundtable discussion at Franklin Pierce. It was hosted by Granite State News Collaborative, of which I'm a member, but it was a really touching and interesting session, and people talked about the struggle for mental health care. But it occurred to me that we are all probably a little bit like we talk about mental health, right? Like physical health. If you look around a room of people, you can say, that dude needs to lose 50 pounds.
Right.
That guy smokes too much. He probably doesn't work out. That lady over there, definitely out of shape, right? That lady's in great shape. She must work out every day. Like we can see how people's physical health is just by kind of looking at them for the most part. But mental health is different, and we all have different levels of fitness in terms of our mental health or how we're feeling about things. And you can't see that. And, it's hard to really there's so much stigma attached to if you want to go to see a therapist, right?
You know what really bugs me, Carol?
What's that?
When there's an adult out there that's wearing a denim jacket with Winnie the Pooh characters on it. That drives me crazy. And then I think about it, like, why would someone do that?
Specifically Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah, like a jean jacket with Tigger on the back. You're 60 years old. Why are you wearing that?
Well, I guess people identify with the...
No, I get it why people wear it, and there's nothing wrong with it. Is it? But that's why I need therapy. Because I will think about that forever.
I gotcha. Okay.
It's like, why would you walk out of the house like that? And that's what goes on in my brain. Okay, I know you're not my therapist, so that's it. That's all I'm letting out this morning.
All right. Well, anyway, so...
Pass the tissues. We all got issues.
That's very true. We all do have issues, and we should be more understanding of each other, Peter. But anyway.
Yes. You don't have a jacket like that, do you?
I do not.
Okay.
No, I do not wear cartoon characters anymore.
Right.
Not since,
exactly.
I don't think I ever did, really. I mean, I did when I had kids. I got my kids stuff like that. But,
well, yeah, because they're kids.
Mm-hmm. Hey, but there's some people that just love Mickey Mouse so much. And there's people that identify with certain characters so much that they like to, it's almost like their totem animal. They feel maybe they get some power from it, or they just feel it embodies who they are, or it makes them seem playful if they're not that playful. There's a lot of psychology around it.
That's what I'm going to get Eric for Christmas. I'm going to get him a denim jacket with Eeyore on the back.
Is he your Eeyore? Do you think he embodies Eeyore very much?
Probably think he identifies with Eeyore.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what's going on? Are you excited to hear Rob Azevedo today?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to hang up early to give him more time.
Yeah. Oh, my God, here he comes. We mentioned his name, and here he comes. Wow.
Right on time.
He even brought coffee, Carol.
Oh, I should have come.
Right. Yeah. Where'd Darryl go? I turn around, and everyone, gone. Rob's here now. And...
I have that effect on people, I hear.
Right.
People disappear when I show up.
You know what I did yesterday, Carol?
Not yet.
I read Rob's book.
Oh, right on deadline.
Right, because I've been carrying it around for like 3 weeks.
Yeah. So, are you going to talk? Should we talk about it now?
Well, he's just settling in here. We'll wait for Darryl to get back. Everyone's just kind of chilling out. Okay. This seems to be the part of the show where we all just kind of chill out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I know I'm kind of boring like that.
But a lot of people talking about that old plaza over on Valley Street, because Ed Murphy says before it was Allegro Star, it was Champagne's. I knew it was something like that. I know that'll trigger Darryl off. And let's see. Oh, the Place. The Place was a nightclub over there back in the 70s where a lot of bands played. Maybe Def Con played there. I don't know. I wasn't there. Then the place turned into something called City Limits, which was this was a dance club, a nightclub. We probably listened to Cameo, Word Up.
Oh yeah, good tune.
All right. So let's introduce our friend Rob here. Good morning, Rob. How are you?
Good. I had a great ride down listening to Word Up.
Oh, right.
That is a great tune. If that doesn't wake you up in the morning, I don't know what's gonna.
Well, it's better than Shakedown, by Bob Seger. We played that the other day,
and it was good for me because I found out what Word Up meant.
Yeah,
that's right. Thanks to Mike Martineau. Now, do you know Mike?
Mike, I don't know you personally. I saw you yesterday, though, down near the Rite Aid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike's all over the place, man.
Yeah. Traveling.
Yep.
So, Carol, have you read the book?
No, I haven't. I'm going to buy mine when I get to the bookery. I guess I don't want to order it online.
No, Carol, I'll get you one. I'll give you one.
Yeah, let me ask you, Rob.
Well, okay. I'd like to support your cause,
All right. Well, let me. For those of you out there that don't know, Rob,
I could use the $2.50.
Right. Which is.
I'm picking one up today. Just so you know.
Yeah. Now you can get. Now the book is available at the bookery.
Oh yeah, it's at the bookery. They have a nice setup down there. Nice display case.
Right. Is there a life-size, like, cardboard thing of you
Thank
there?
God,
Oh,
no.
there has to be.
No.
That would be great.
No.
Yeah, I think, well, for those of you out there that don't know Rob, he hosts a show here at WMNH and also up in Concord at WKXL, the Granite State of Mind thing. We'll start with that. How'd that all start for you, Rob?
It started in my basement. I don't know. After dinner one night, I was getting in touch with. I usually go down the basement after I eat and start to work on whatever the heck I'm working on. And I just thought one time down there, I said, I think I want to try to do a radio show, and I get in the habit of doing that sometimes. So I just acted upon it. I said, if I'm going to do a radio show, it's going to probably have to be at a local station because I have no experience. And I was at a little small station called WNHN on Pleasant Street in Concord. I went up there. I pitched them my idea for a show. They gave me a 3-week tryout, and now it's been 8 years.
Wow, 8 years.
Yeah.
It stuck.
It stuck.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great. It really is. It's fun. I listen to it. You have a lot of fun. Sometimes, you feature local bands,
Yep.
local singer-songwriters, troubadours, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys, like, real good. And then those times that maybe you don't, because it is hard to get people to come into a radio studio, you play some great music also.
Thank you.
So we do have a call, Carol. You're still with us, right? Because I know you want to. You can get in on this too, Carol.
Sure.
All right. Don't sound so mad. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, Eric, what's going on?
Hey, I'm looking forward to meeting you tomorrow at the Bookery, Rob, in your fun night at the reading, and I got to bring my tissues.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're going to be there. I hear you're a big fan of Kate Dobbins.
I never met you before, so I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night at the Bookery at 6:30. So
Well, I
see you
listen.
then, and everybody have a good, happy Thursday. I got to head to morning prayer. All right, bye-bye.
All right, Ease. Wow, that was nice. So, okay, well, he'll be there.
Yes, good.
I encourage everyone to go on down there. Carol, is there anything you don't mind? You don't mind talking to Rob now, right? What else? Did you have anything you wanted
No,
to?
I don't mind.
Did you have an
I mean,
agenda this morning? Is what I'm saying.
No, it elevates me, from my usual boring self. So.
No, but it is good. So Rob, let me ask you, how many people, other than the people that have bought the book, I mean, how many people have read this book?
I really don't know. I had a meeting with my publisher up in George Gears up in Concord the other day. I don't know. Believe it or not, our goal is only to sell 500 books because he told me, he said, this book's not going to sell. And I said, it's not. And I go, why do you think? He goes, I can just tell the tone of it. People aren't. He said, people are going to probably get turned off by it, the tone of it at some point. And yeah, that's what he told me before it came out. And I said, all right. I said, I don't think it didn't get combative, but I was like, I don't know if I think you're right. And I said, give me a number because my day job, I've been selling oxygen for 18 years. So I also have a sales background. So I said, give me a number. I'll hit that number. And he said 500. And I said, all right. So I think we're almost halfway there.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Okay.
How long has it been out on the market?
About 3 weeks.
Okay. You're going to get there.
I hope so.
I'm going to help you get there.
Yeah, that's the goal. So I don't know how many people. There's a few reviews on Amazon, and those are going pretty well. And of course, when a book comes out, your families, your friends, they buy it. But I don't think that's the only people buying it because I've checked in. It's up at Gibson's bookstore. It's at Toadstool bookstores around the state. Of course, down here at the Bookery. And so we'll see. I have no idea. It's my first time doing it.
Right.
No, but it's like I've read the book, so I know that it's been a long time coming.
Oh yeah. It has 30 years.
It's autobiographical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's the only way I know how to write.
I don't want to give too much of it away, but what I got from it when I read a book and I put it down and I read the whole thing.
Thank you.
And I'm sitting there and then I realized because I know you, and you and I are the same age.
Yep.
Well, you're born in 1970.
Yeah, class of '88, right?
Class of '88.
Yep.
And I didn't realize, it's funny. All us kids that grew up at that time, kind of lives parallel lives with what they were doing. You mentioned playing with action figures.
Oh God, yeah.
And then the transformation of getting older and putting those action figures away
Mm-hmm.
and maybe and I remember going through all that, and I was like, oh, it was amazing. And then I am going to bring up one thing in the book, and it is when you started reading for school S.E. Hinton.
Oh, God, man. It changed my life.
And The Outsiders, because
Yes.
that happened to me, too. And so much that you did the same thing I did. You went and you read That Was Then, This Is Now. You read Rumblefish. You read Tex.
Oh, yeah, you read them all, too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It was just, I was like, I'm like, wow, he was doing kind of the same thing I was when I was 13 years old. You know what I mean?
And when did you realize that S.E. Hinton was a woman?
Probably by the time the movie came out, I think.
I had no idea until I was at least 30. I didn't.
really?
I had no
Wow.
clue. No, I had no clue. I thought, I thought the way she wrote about, teen, male teens. I had no idea it was a woman.
Definitely had some vision.
Yeah, the movie was great. I read the book before the movie, but the movie was fantastic.
Name all the stars in it.
Right.
Tom Cruise,
Oh, yeah.
Were those the Outsiders?
Matt Dillon,
The Outsiders?
everybody was in that movie.
Everybody.
Emilio Estevez, Leif Garrett.
How did he get in there?
He had, he was pretty big back in the day.
But
Yeah.
did he have acting chops?
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
You think so? Yeah.
he was good in that movie.
Okay. But yeah,
I
that
mean,
was
don't
chock
forget,
full of-
you can't forget Ralph Macchio,
Yes.
C. Thomas Howell,
Unbelievable.
Stay Gold, Pony Boy.
Yeah. Rob Lowe.
Yeah, Rob Lowe.
Lowe was in it as well.
Everybody was in that
Yeah,
flick.
Patrick Swayze. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I love it. So that book really spoke to me.
Yeah, I think it inspired you, and
Yep.
I don't know. Like I encourage people to go out there and read this book. Like I said, I don't want to give it away, but it's so good, and it's very, very personal.
Yeah.
It's very personal, and you go deep inside yourself, especially as some of the things that you went through as a kid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. As a kid, I was that, like I say in there, I was that, I don't know, the kid that had it all growing up, yet, I was a basket case on the inside. You know what I mean? And it wasn't, I got a couple kids of my own, and it wasn't my parents were great people, but it was a different age back then. And I don't know, I shouldn't, just in my house, my mother was this fiery Irish woman, and you never knew what kind of mood she was going to be in. And you could walk downstairs in the morning, and you could, get a crack right across the face for, who knows, before you even had a spoon in your mouth. Or she could be the most loving, doting, woman. And like I wrote about it, it'd be like, if I was up in my bedroom getting ready, I usually woke up with knots in my stomach. I spent a lot of time with knots in my stomach. But if I heard Motown playing downstairs, if I heard Diana Ross, the Supremes, then I knew it was going to be a good day, so I could mellow out a little bit.
Right.
And
Take the edge off.
Yeah, take the edge off. But if it was quiet, I knew she was simmering somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, that was scary, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you were a kid,
The
and
anxiety.
she was only a little. She was just, small as a bird.
But fiery.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, you talk about both your parents, and that's what I mean. You get very personal about your own family and your own family relationships with your brother. You have three.
I have. They're all older. I have a sister who's
Brother?
10 years older than me.
Okay.
Who we lived under the same roof, but like I write, she could have been a stranger. I thought she was just this woman who rented a room up off the office in the second floor because
She was 10 years older?
10 years older.
At a young age, that would have that effect on you, for sure.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And I love her. I mean, her name is Lynn. She's going on 60 now. She's awesome. Still lives in the same town. And then my older brother, he's like 8 years older, and we shared a bedroom together. But we literally didn't really connect until I was in my early 20s. He couldn't stand the sight of me.
That's the difference, though. 8 years is a lot.
Is a lot.
When you're young.
Yeah.
It only comes together as you grow older.
Yes, it's true. So never give up on it. And then my sister Laura, who's just wonderful. She's just a year older than me.
Oh, okay. But you talk about. Here's the thing. What I was thinking, and I think we all do this. Carol, you chime in anytime you want. But okay, so if I went to high school with you, and you say you were a family that was pretty well off, correct?
Yeah.
You didn't want for anything. You pretty much
Country club dilettante.
right. So it'd be one of those. We were talking about this earlier, Darryl, where I might see you not knowing you or just judging you and saying, "Oh wow, what a lucky guy!" He probably has a great family.
Sure.
Lucky guy, not knowing that you were going through this whole twisted thing in your own mind
Yeah.
on just trying to be somebody and to find out who you were.
To be somebody, just almost not as much as to be somebody, just to be somebody other than a nobody.
Right.
Because, the book opens up, my mother just had this thing that she said all the time, who do you think you are?
Right.
And the only acceptable answer was, nobody, Mom, nobody. And she would say, you're damn right you're nobody, and don't you ever forget it.
And that just stuck with you.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it will stay with you.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Carrie, you got to read this book.
I'm gonna. I told you I'm gonna buy it when I go tomorrow.
Yeah, fantastic.
Best editor in the world right there, Carol Robideau.
So, if you let me jump in here a
Yes,
little
sir.
bit. Rob, where did you grew up in Massachusetts?
Melrose, just outside of Boston. Little town called Melrose, Mass. If you know Malden, Revere, Medford, that whole area.
Yeah.
Home of Kiss 108 and Maddie in the Morning, isn't it? No, that is it?
Oh, God, yeah. Medford and Kiss 108. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Yeah.
Rob remembers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
He's still on the air, though.
Yeah, he's good.
Yike.
Wow. Do you know that? Do you know?
Home of the Extreme, the band The Extreme, if you knew them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He used to work at the video store, Gary Sharon, right in Wakefield, where we'd get our movies.
Wow.
Before Van Halen.
Before Van.
Oh, yeah.
I went to that Van Halen show it was the Fleet Center back then, the Van Halen 3 tour, which was Gary Sharon with Van Halen. And I remember being in the bathroom and talking to someone. I'm like, well, this is all right, but I don't know if I like Gary Sharon as the singer of Van Halen.
Yeah.
And then there's these guys in the bathroom from probably Malden, and they said, "Hey, Big Lou, this guy doesn't like our boy."
Sounds about right.
Right, this guy doesn't like our boy Gary.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to compare to David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar. I just got to get used to it. I said, guys.
Yeah. And
But they all surrounded me
Cut
in the
me some
bathroom.
slack.
Yeah. At what point did you get sucker punched?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I
Good.
didn't.
Oh, you got out all right.
Well, we talked about that the other day. I was punched in the face maybe once, twice, but I've gone my entire adult life managing not to get punched in the face.
Oh, good for you.
But now I'm probably asking for it now. Someone's just going to see me on the sidewalk. And
Those
just
days
laugh.
are over, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, boy. So, well, Carol, I feel bad that you're just sitting there. See, that kind of thing bothers me. I need therapy for that.
It doesn't. No, don't feel bad. It doesn't have to be about me. I'm just doing my job every day.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I like to just sit in.
Now,
I
Rob,
was
you're going
there.
to be you hanging out for a while? Or you busy
Sure,
day today?
I'm
Yeah.
all right.
Good. So, well, this book. Now, what will you be? Will you be reading excerpts of this?
Oh yeah. So the way we're going to do it tomorrow night is because the book. I'll tell you, the book would have never come together. Would have never happened had I not started Granite State of Mind. I'm pretty sure of that because through doing the show, I got a gig with the Concord Monitor to writing a weekly music column, and I got a lot of feedback weekly, just saying, hey, like your style, all that, blah, blah, blah. So that gave me enough confidence to reach out to a longtime publisher up there at Plaid Swede Publishing, George Gears, to just reach out to him and say, can I buy you a coffee? And so he agreed, and I just pitched him on my idea to write a book. And usually you write the book and then you submit it to publishers. But I'm not able to do that. I wasn't also willing. I just knew that's just not how I work.
Right.
I need to have a goal. So he said, okay, go ahead. After a few weeks, I sent him a couple samples and stuff, and he said, okay, go ahead, write your book. But had I not met all these musicians throughout the state and had things to write about, and then to write about it to get the feedback from the readers, then I don't think the book would have come together. So that's why I'm bringing musicians along with me on these little book readings, because I'll read a portion. Okay, so the Outsiders chapter that you mentioned.
Right.
Nick Ferraro from Manchester. He's a great singer-songwriter. He is going to come along, and he's going to sing one of his best songs called "Beautiful Bastards," which fits really, really well with the chapter of the Outsiders. And then I wrote a chapter on "Stairway to Heaven," which was this great record store in downtown Crossing in Boston that I just used to hang out in all the time. And, you had everything from the punk rockers to the emo heads to the progressive people,
Oh, yeah.
and there's a girl, Kate West from Concord, and she's going to sing like Punk Rock Girl after.
Right.
So it's sort of, I'm going to read a portion, somebody's going to sing. Read a portion, somebody's going to sing.
So it's coordinated.
I love.
And nobody wants to hear me read for an hour.
I don't
Sit
know. I
there
think
and
I
read.
could dig it.
I love your description of you going to the record store and how, basically was your escape from real life.
Yeah.
And you were at an age that every 12, 13, 14-year-old kid, and you're seeing things that you've never seen before.
Right. Growing up in the suburbs where I did, it is like every conversation is on a loop. It's the same. If you really look into it, there's what are you doing with your life? You know what I mean? Where are you living? What are you driving? All that. Those same conversations. It's on a loop. And, everybody's got the same haircut. Everybody's got wearing the same shirt, same shorts.
Right.
Parents basically do the same jobs. And everybody's front lawn looks fantastic. And I would go to Stairway to Heaven, and it was like a new world to me because I saw scrappers. I saw outsiders. I saw
People
I
different
saw
from you.
Oh, I saw women. I saw girls. I saw teenagers. Now, Melrose was a lot of beautiful, beautiful girls, bright, beautiful girls, and who I still know today, but they were never dangerous, And I would go to Stairway to Heaven, and I would see fishnet stockings and army boots and girls smoking cigarettes, and
Different from what you
it
see.
got up under my skin, and I loved it.
What's not to love?
Right.
No, it's the hustle and the bustle because right in that downtown, right in Boston too. There's so much going on.
Right.
It's wow. I always loved going to the record store when I got out of toys and stuff, and I went to like department stores with my parents. I would always go right for the record section.
Oh God, yeah.
Always.
Right. And you could spend hours in there just peeling through records,
Right.
and there was nothing like it. And then you'd go over to the 45s and you'd look for the B sides and those B cuts.
Oh, yeah.
Spend hours just looking for the right B cuts. Oh, it's just spend hours just looking at pins and patches.
Yes,
and it was
posters.
just
Posters, too.
Oh, right, Pete. You just click, 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 click,
Right.
click.
And
Yeah.
then there'd be a few rock posters, and then there'd be like some model of the day.
Oh,
or
Cheryl Teagues,
Paulina, Rick Ocasek's wife. Paulina?
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
She was something.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you, Rob. Did you know that your book has moved someone very deeply?
No.
Yes. We found out that at one of your last readings, that Stephen Philbrook's eyes watered up.
My man. I love it. He wasn't the only one. I was up there bawling like a
Right.
clown myself.
And his eyes watered up, and then I kind of exploited it, and I felt bad.
Yeah.
You're in charge of exploitation.
Well, I love Stephen. He's great, and he's been a big supporter of not only Granite State of Mind, but I love his son. I love his family. We all in the same neighborhood pretty much.
Yeah. Stephen up there over by Orange Street, that area?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Smith Lane and Smith
They're
Road.
a great family. Angela Philbrook came down yesterday, Stephen's sister.
Yeah, I bumped into her outside.
And gave Matt Couchane a bunch of art supplies for the...
She had a ton of stuff.
Right. I believe Ellen Philbrook also had something to do with that. So thank you, guys. But, wow, so are you excited that this is out there? Because I understand it took a long time.
Yeah, it took about 15... Well, it took 30 years to happen. It took about 15 years to write, and then there was another, 10 months the process of getting it published and edited and all of that. So, God, yeah. I'm very happy that it's done. I mean, I always wanted to have... I just wanted to go into a bookstore and to see my book.
Yeah,
It says Azevedo, and it was, ever since I started writing when I was... I want to say 13 years old, I wrote my first column in a typing class.
Wow.
I guess I always just wanted to get a book published.
Well, that was kind of an epiphany for you where you're like, hold on.
Whoa, yeah.
Right? And then people were reacting off what you were writing.
Off a sheet of paper that, back
Right.
then, it was, you weren't emailing it around.
But
and
it
stuff.
went around, and all of a sudden people are saying, hey, that's great. That was funny. That was great.
Right.
And for the first time, you're like, whoa.
Right. I'm somebody
being recognized.
Yeah, as something more than a nobody. Yeah, and I loved it.
It
And
gives you that push forward as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
We're going to continue with Rob Carroll. Do you have anything for Rob?
No, just good luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
Writing. Yeah, he's, I really appreciate his work, and I always love it when he went through a little bit of a dark period of not writing because he was finishing his book, which I was excited for him. I had no idea he was writing a book at the time. So, because I was getting used to him submitting columns for us, and really happy that he's been writing about things. He's taken a little bit of a turn from solely from writing about other people's music and just kind of sharing his life, his life view through his own writing about things. So I think that's really, really appreciated by the reading public. It's like therapy for people, really.
Oh, yeah,
To read
yeah.
other people's stuff. It makes you feel better somehow about your own life when you realize that everybody's in it. So
Absolutely.
keeps writing.
Yeah. Thank you, Carol.
And let's not forget, Rob is just up for his, now what's the official award, Carol? The columnist?
Yeah, it's the National Society of Newspaper Columnists.
That's great.
Columnist of the Year
Big time
award.
shout out for that.
That's a big one.
Yeah, so they
How's
do
that
have
make you feel?
various-
That makes me feel pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If
yeah,
we
they
win.
they have various
Still get to go to the
various
party.
categories, but it is a really competitive, and I think it's I'm so proud of him, and his work, and
I think we're all
So-
proud of him.
yeah,
We're all proud
also
of you.
proud of him. Yeah, I'm sorry your mom told you were nobody, because you're somebody.
Well, we made. I swear to God, my mother died last July, and
Yes.
and it all came full circle. We're at peace. I was at peace with it, and
Yep.
I got to see a side of her, and we turned over a few rocks, and she went to the next phase, and we're good. We're good. I feel good about it.
The way I figure it is this, like what a lot of people have difficult memories or relationships in their life. And that's like, I think of it the way water sort of, rolls over a rock until it smooths it out or whatever. The things that continually put pressure on us in our lives, sort of make us who we are in a way. If your mom hadn't been who she was, you might have been a different guy.
100%.
And maybe she gave you some of your edges that give you the ability to see the world in the way that you do and express yourself. Maybe that helped make that happen. So it's as unfortunate as it is that we don't all live in the Brady Bunch world.
Right.
It's what we do with all of that, and I think that's the thing about parents and relationships. So
Yeah, I think you're 100% right, Carol. Thanks.
yeah.
All right, Carol. Well, listen, we're going to, you want to...
So real quick,
Yeah, go
there's
ahead.
there's two big things happening today.
Okay, go ahead, Carol.
South Millyard Design Charrette, which is happening today. There's 2 sessions, 9 to 12 or 1 to 4, and then a feedback session from 7 to 8:30, and that's happening at the DoubleTree downtown. So if you're interested in that whole development of what we're going to do with the traffic and all that stuff, head over there to the DoubleTree. I'm sure there'll be some snacks. There usually are, but I can't guarantee it. But maybe you'll get some free coffee at least. And then the other thing that's happening today is the Manchester Proud is having one of their 2 sort of visioning sessions. They're having one today and then another one on the 29th, but they want everybody to come out to kind of feedback on what they would like to see the direction of our schools. So that's another kind of it's been brewing, and they're on a trajectory. They're really kind of marching forward with this plan. They have 2 Revolutions consulting group mapping out the blueprint once they gather all of this feedback and all of the data and all of the information, and then they're going to put a presentation forth to the school board. This is supposed to really kind of redirect the city's school plan. It's to give us a strategic plan. So that's happening today, tonight at 6 o'clock, 6 to 7:30. And childcare, transportation available, dinner. They're going to have free food.
Oh.
Yeah, that's going to be at Northwest Elementary. So if you're hungry and you don't care at all about school, but you could fake it Just head over to Northwest, have some dinner,
Get some chow.
nod a lot.
What kind of food is it, though?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to say pizza or something. I have no idea.
We're going to send our
What's the address
correspondent.
there again, Carol?
So
We're going to
if they
send
want-
Mikey Martineau over.
Yeah, baby.
There's always an incentive, but when you're feeding people, you're generally going to get people, even if they don't care about what you're doing, they're going to come to fill up a napkin, stuff it in their pocket, fill up another napkin, and then eat.
Absolutely.
So go fill up your pockets.
Yeah, I'll bring a backpack with a plastic bag. We used to do that at Chinese buffets. And then
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I never tried that.
Yeah, but you got to go get a plate and then take it to your table. You don't want to bring the backpack up to the buffet.
Generally, no.
That's a
Yeah.
good trick.
Yes, then you slide the plate into your backpack, but it's lined with plastic.
That's brilliant.
Well,
Also, just real quick, I went to the ribbon cutting yesterday at the Friendly Toast in Bedford, which if you haven't been yet, it is really delicious food and interesting menu and all of that. They had a little bit of free food. Once again, that was my main incentive.
The hook?
They fed me. They had breakfast egg rolls, which had all sorts of stuff in it, eggs and other stuff, and then this really cool dipping sauce, like a strawberry habanero and a spicy something else. But that was great, and they had little fried donut bites. And very nice. And so they're officially in, and the mayor was there, even though it's Bedford. They invited our chamber and the mayor to be there because I say this all the time, and I'm going to say it one last time before that little girl yells at me, is that we have all these boundaries in our mind. It's as intrinsic as it's as small as Ward 1 and Ward 2. There's a boundary.
Exactly.
East side, west side. There's a river between us.
Socias and the pops.
Manchester and Bedford. We are this and they are that. Republicans and Democrats. But if you fly over the country, there are no lines.
Yeah.
There's just world, and we have to expand our minds a little bit sometimes. Manchester in particular, I think, is so gets so in the weeds with that. Sort of, are you from here? Then don't weigh in on anything because you don't know. And I think that's we're rough on people sometimes for being from someplace else, or look at them over there. So
I'm very welcoming.
Let's just all hold hands and sing Kumbaya and go to Friendly Toast.
Is that true, Pete? You're a townie.
Yeah, I'm pretty well. Yeah, of course I am.
Yeah.
But do you welcome do you welcome others' opinions outside of Manchester about Manchester?
Yeah, I respect everybody's opinion. I think that's one thing I've learned, especially the last few years, with everyone fighting on social media and everything. I don't really chime in too much on anyone's opinion. You know what I mean? You just got to respect everyone's opinion.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not. All right, Carol. What's that now?
You don't have to respect everybody's opinion, but you should. Yeah.
Exactly. Or if you don't, and if you don't respect everyone's opinion, you just keep it to yourself, because whatever you say to them is not going to really make a difference.
Now, what kind of world would we live in if everybody had the same opinion about everything? That would be kind of like a bad movie.
That's right.
It would be Pleasantville, and that was no fun. So.
That was a good movie, though.
I kind of like Pleasantville.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, but, I'm running out of time.
Oh, that was Howard Cosell saying it today.
Are you guys did anybody watch the revival of All in the Family? And
Yes, that was unbelievable last night.
I wanted to watch it, but I was busy.
Pete, what'd you think?
It was fantastic. It was
I missed it.
Very well done. I hope they play it again. I hope they keep. Was an experiment in television where they took old original scripts from All in the Family, from Norman Lear, and then made the exact same set as All in the Family.
Pretty cool.
And with actors like, for instance, Woody Harrelson played Archie Bunker.
Heavy hitters, heavy hitting actors.
Oh yeah, they weren't the D list.
No, it was huge. Jamie Foxx played George Jefferson to the T until he screwed up once.
Yeah.
Wanda was fantastic.
Wanda
Sykes, yes.
It was.
Yeah, I think I've said this on your show before that we need a revival. We needed a revival of All in the Family because it came at a time when there was so much racial division and so much bigotry and
well, here's the thing.
Everybody knew an Archie Bunker, and that show really shined a light on how silly it is to have these differences and how a person can be sort of
And listen how
changed
listen how times have changed also, because they use these original scripts. So during the first half hour, it was All in the Family, and they referenced Richard Nixon, a lot of racial things that were going on in the day, even stuff that the studio audience that was watching it in the thing reacted like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
can't believe they said that. So not PC. Yeah.
But during the Jeffersons, and they're using the original scripts, like the exact scripts, and they were throwing around the N-word. And they beeped it out last night. They beeped out, but
You got it.
back in 77 or whatever, that aired.
Yeah.
But you could say honky, though, that they didn't beep that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, that was in the script.
Amazing.
That
Kudos to
word
Norman
was
Lear.
in the yes.
Wow.
Because speaking of writing and stuff, Norman Lear, probably one of the greatest television writers of all time.
Yeah.
Perhaps the best.
It was. It blew me away. I sat down like just before just after the All in the Family started, and I don't know, man. There was something. I think that this show, if they continue it, Pete, it could be revolutionary in the way that it could change the social culture. That was something. I think it could change the social culture and bring that divide that Carol was just talking about, bring that gap closer for some reason. I don't know if it was the state of mind I was in last night, but it was phenomenal.
It was. I don't know. I thought I hear they're going to be doing a Good Times one. They're going to be doing.
Yeah,
I think they're going to keep it up. If the ratings are up there, they're definitely going to do it. So.
Absolutely.
I'd like to see a Welcome Back, Cotter.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know
so
about
Carol,
that.
I recommend this.
Okay, I'll check it out. I think I can probably find it on Hulu or something. I wanted to watch it. I agree 100%. I think that's why. I'm going to guess that's kind of what's behind it. Is that somebody said, hey, you know what? We really need all the political, rhetoric that we hear, and even the late night TV guys who kind of lay into the government like they usually do with the president, and then they got a little bit shamed by Jay Leno or whatever. People just tune it all out, but give somebody a sitcom, and everybody will kind of watch it. And even modern ones like Modern Family, that's kind of the kind of show that is talks about things like gay marriage and all that. It's groundbreaking, but it goes to places where we're uncomfortable in real life. As what do we do when somebody has two dads? It's sort of, it's kind of a
No, oh, Carol, sorry.
Pete, I listen to this show every morning. I listen to you guys, and I laugh. It just
so sorry, Carol.
It's just
I like the little girl personally.
It's okay. It's all right.
Carol just takes it so patiently.
She's
I
great.
have no more time.
So patient.
I'm like way over.
I
I'm like
know.
9 minutes
I know.
over the 8 o'clock
I
mark.
know.
Yike.
I know. I only just got rolling though, but I'm gonna go.
No, you're
'cause I got
rolling.
stuff to do. No, I'm done. That's it.
Okay, Carol. Well,
Don't-
listen, we will
don't
talk
beg.
to you. We will talk to you tomorrow, and
right.
and we'll wrap up the week tomorrow.
Bye, Carol.
All right.
Bye, Carol.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Carol.
All right, bye, Carol. All right, what do I usually say? Manchester,
no
Carol Robideau, Manchester Inklink, where everything in Manchester connects. You can find out what's going on around town at manchesterinklink.com.
The morning show is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 171 Londonderry Turnpike in Hooksett. They serve all your big and small business needs. Employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600. On the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
Hi from the Peter White Morning Show and all the All-Stars to help out there. Lenny, Scumpy, Abigail White, Laura the Animal Lady, Nick, Mr. Positive, Mike Martineau, Mike Doyle, Brooklyn Mike, The Moose, Glenn Ollett, the People's Mayor, Joe Lara, Darryl Dion, Peter Fleming, Christy Canner, Ryan Gorman, Don T. Tibbetts, Yahoo, Gary T. Tibbetts, Paulie C., The Place to Be, Carol Robideau, Manchester Inkling, John Manning, Ben Dion, Kyle Heavey, Matt Connerton, and Rob Azevedo. We all have a lot of fun there. It's all fun. I hope you're listening.
You're listening to Peter White. Call us at 250-6007. It's the morning show.
Reach 95.3 FM. Good morning, Manchester.
All right, we are back here this morning. Good morning, Manchester. We are very excited to have Rob Azevedo in studio with us this morning. We have Darryl Dion here.
Good morning.
Good morning, Darryl. Yeah, allergies have you today?
Not so much.
Oh, okay.
Not so much.
All right, I'm just checking, making sure you're okay.
I'm okay.
All right. Mike Martineau is here.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. And we have Rob here. We're talking about, I want to talk about the title of this book.
I love the title.
Notes from the Last Breath Farm. I love the cover, too. I know that
Brendan did it.
Brendan McCormick. He also did all our I guess, pictures of our shows.
Sure.
Graphics for our shows here. But, I mean, this is really great. This catches the eye.
Good.
Like, if I didn't know you and I saw this sitting on a bookshelf like that, like displayed like that, I mean, that just catches my eye.
When the publisher said, he's like, I've never had a black book. I've never put out a black book. What do you want for design? And I was, it's basically, I stole it from Celine, a Celine book, he was an old writer. And Long Day's Journey into Night. And he had a black cover himself. So I said, let's roll with that. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, it looks good. And I, from knowing you the past few years, I know you're also a big fan of Hunter S. Thompson.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, is that like, the stuff that you've read? I'm sure you've read some of his Fear and Loathing and all that. Did that kind of inspire you? Because you have an interesting style too. It's not Hunter S. Thompson, and I don't think that's what you're trying to do. I'm saying, but were you inspired, almost like almost if you were a musician, you're a big fan of Bob Dylan, and you're writing your own music, and people are inspired.
Oh yeah, well, 25 years ago, when I was at Plymouth State College, I worked for the school newspaper, and a book came in for it was a biography on Hunter S. Thompson by this woman, one of his ex-girlfriend. And I was like, who was this guy? So I just started flipping through it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then I had saw that he had written a book called Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and I had never written it. So the minute I picked it up, you read the first page, and that's it. You don't come out of the bathroom until you're done reading it, because it's the type of book that just. I had never written. It was probably the second book after The Outsiders that I read that just hit me right in the teeth, and I was like, "You're allowed to write like this?"
Right.
I didn't know that. I was like, "Jesus."
I got a copy of the book. Just they say don't judge a book by the cover, but I happened to run into it at a yard sale.
Yeah.
And I knew who Hunter S. Thompson was through Rolling Stone magazine.
Right.
But then I'm like, whoa, what's this?
Yeah.
And. Same thing. It's like, wow.
Yeah,
couldn't put it down.
Unbelievable. And there is no doubt about it, Pete. When I was writing in my early 20s and for the high school college paper, oh God, I would rip Hunter Thompson's style off all the time.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But then that only lasts so long where you can be, just mimic somebody else.
Right.
You have to get your own voice. You have to find your own path. But Thompson, for even his writing, but I liked his persona. And to this day, I still collect Gonzo artwork by Stedman.
Really?
Oh yeah. I'm working on getting a piece up here out of New Jersey. If you go down my basement, this is where I do all my work and do my hangout, it's just loaded with Gonzo. Everything different, all different kinds of Gonzo photos. I got like a 7x7 foot picture of Thompson, and it's just, I don't know why. I'm nearly 50 years old, and still I dig it. And there's a chapter in there where there was an opportunity to go out to the Woody Creek Tavern where Thompson lives. And it was the first ever, like I've been seeing in documentaries that, Thompson used to work out of his kitchen. And people would come to Aspen, and Woody Creek is only about 6 miles outside of Aspen. And everybody from Keith Richards to Bob Dylan to presidential candidates, poets, writers, politicians, Thompson wouldn't go to them. They would come to his house. And so there was an opportunity you had to be quick. And I jumped on that opportunity, and for $50, I got a ticket to tour his house.
Yes.
And I couldn't believe it. So I called my brother, who will go anywhere I suggest, and I called my buddy from Manchester.
Now, is this your brother that sat back in the house and listened to James Taylor?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah, James Taylor.
Carly Simon.
Jesus, I listened to some good stuff, but a lot of trash. You know,
a fair amount of garbage.
Yeah, but he loved it. He was James Jackson Brown. He was a soulful. So, anyways, went out there, flew out to Denver, Colorado, did the 3-hour drive through the mountains, and got to Thompson's house. And right there, right in his living room, we sat down in his living room, and the tour guide, first thing he did was packed a bowl of weed, and off we went. There was only about 4 or 5 of us there, and then we walked into the kitchen where Thompson's command post, the place I've been seeing in documentaries for years upon years.
Right.
And there was his seat where he actually killed himself right there. But there's the typewriter where he wrote all of his...
Everything's left intact?
Everything was still right there.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, and he used to drink Chivas, and so we all drank Chivas. And what was supposed to be a 20-minute tour, in and out, we were there for about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Wow.
And just Thompson's friends came over the house and just was telling stories about him, and it was.
But as a journalist, you had to be like...
As a gonzo junkie, as a journalist, as somebody that just likes to travel and see... put himself in those situations. It was the best. So I got a chance to write about it.
Wow. Yeah, that's really something. So
certainly is.
Wow.
Oof.
Now, have you ever seen the movie Where the Buffalo Roam?
Yeah. Where the Buffalo. I've seen all of them, and they're yet to get a good Thompson.
Right.
They're yet to do it right. I thought Fear and Loathing.
Mikey,
think Johnny Depp did it best?
I think I thought it was horrible. I thought that movie was dreadful. Fear and Loathing with him and Benicio.
Benicio del Toro, yeah.
Yeah, I
didn't think much of Depp as well.
Yeah, I thought it was over the top.
It was over the top,
way over
for a '90s movie, right?
Was it 90s? I actually think it was in the 2000s.
Maybe.
I tried to watch it again the other night.
It's too drug infested.
It's
just nuts.
They just didn't get it right.
No. And Where the Buffalo Roam was kind of a grittier one. Mm-hmm. I liked it. Bill Murray made that movie, like playing Hunter Thompson.
I don't think I recall ever seeing it.
Yeah, nobody saw it. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, very interesting. Very interesting.
The documentaries are the best. Like, if you really want to get an idea of Hunter Thompson, there's some great documentaries on him that are really well done.
When I read a book, which I did yesterday, and it's theater of the mind also, just like radio or whatever. So when you're talking about watching Larry Bird or Kevin McHale at the line and in your basement, I mean, I'm picturing it. I'm picturing
playing Nerf hoop, Pete.
Yellow, yeah. You got the big yellow pillow.
Oh yeah.
And I'm picturing you're downstairs, and I'm like, and that makes a book for me too, where you can just picture it all. And I'm like, because I know you, and I'm like, but I didn't know you then. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was just like, wow, this is how we grew up, and I love when you and here's another thing about you. You had mentioned that you went and pitched the book to that guy, right?
To George, yes.
To George. And there's another thing that you had done in your life that you touch upon in the book, where after high school, your senior year, everyone's getting, you're getting college applications, you're filling these out. They're $50 a piece, $80 a piece, whatever. And so all summer long, you're getting rejected from, Keene State, Plymouth State,
every state,
everything.
Every state.
And you got
every state.
No, but you did get accepted to
Wentworth Institute of Technology.
Okay.
800 students.
So you're a senior in high school towards the end right before graduation. The walls are closing in on you.
Yes.
That's what I got. And you're like, I have to figure something out.
Mm.
And I love how you describe yourself. And you're like, well, I'm kind of lazy. I don't even like bending over, picking things up. That made me laugh.
The truthfulness is really
no,
science.
but it made me laugh, And then, so you decide to do this, and you know what, you're serious about it. You're there for a few months, 3 months or something like that, and you were doing okay.
Yeah, I was doing all right.
You were doing okay. So, but then something hit you where you're like, I don't want to do this.
Well, I was majoring in building construction, and like I said, I don't even like to bend over.
Right.
Let alone get my hands dirty. I don't know. It's just not my thing.
Right.
And there I am. I'm trying to learn how to build brick walls first, and then it's working with T-squares. Ooh. So I just wasn't in it. But you had to take these standard classes too. So English. So I got into I dug the English classes, but slowly I just stopped going to all the other construction classes, and I spent all my time in the library watching B movies, and reading magazines and Xeroxing articles out of Esquire magazine about Tennessee Williams and John Steinbeck, and because I had to take the train from Oak Grove in Malden, Mass, all the way to Ruggles, which is basically the last stop on the Orange Line. So I read and read and read. I read The Fountainhead, which is like 800.
Wow.
Yeah. And I just had my head buried in books throughout that whole entire year, back and forth from the suburbs to the city, suburbs to the city.
Right.
But yeah, it was. But again, if I didn't go to Wentworth, if I didn't go to those English classes, I wouldn't have ended up at Plymouth State. If I didn't end up at Plymouth State, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to start writing.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing where I thought was really cool, because even after getting rejected at Plymouth State, 8 months, a year before, you wrote them. You had another epiphany or whatever, and you're like, I'm not going to tell my parents. I am just going to write them a letter. I am going to write them a letter. And you sat there and you're like, I'm not going to write your basic letter. Again, just like the book here, you were pitching yourself to them.
Yep.
And saying, hey, I'm a different person.
Right.
I just want a bachelor in English.
Bachelor of Arts, yeah.
Right. And I don't know. I thought that was awesome. You're like, worst they can do is say no again. But you did it. After facing all that other rejection, you did it. You set yourself up for it again, but this time it didn't happen.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there are things. I was having a conversation at the gym the other day with a guy, and he was like, he had been reading the book, and he was like, I think about these things all the time at night. These ideas that I have at night, and he's like, but I don't do anything with them. And I was like, dude, those ideas come to you. I believe it, and I know it sounds a bit like it's Oprah, but I believe that these ideas that you get in your head, right? It doesn't matter. You don't have to be a writer or a filmmaker or a radio guy, anything. They come to your head for a reason, right? And they are meant to be acted upon. And if you let those get squandered away, then that's on you. So whatever that was that came to you and put that idea in your head, just think about it. Just act upon it. It's not about the result. It's about, and I flippin' hate the word journey. I don't ever use the word journey, but it's about the work and the fulfillment that you get out of the work, working towards something that's going to be self-fulfilling.
Right. I agree. And that happened to me, and I don't know if I've ever actually told the story on the radio. I know a few people know, but I, before this show started, I know you listen to the show
every single day.
And because we used to do a little, cable access TV show upstairs. And then I remember seeing all of a sudden, one night I was up there and I see 95.3 WMNH as they were building this radio station.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at it and I had a moment. I'm like, oh, wouldn't that be great to do that? Wouldn't that be great? And so then I walked away thinking, oh, they're not gonna let me do that.
Right.
I'm like, I came to my senses. I'm like, because our TV show was a little radical and craziness on a Wednesday night, but and I left that night thinking, oh, but it still stayed in my mind, and I let someone know that I would be interested in doing that. And this is probably like a year before everything started, and
it happened.
I mean, they came to me one day and believe it or not, Joe Lahr was kind of saying Peter would be good for it. Jason Cody didn't really know me, and he just knew me from upstairs in that TV show,
right?
And he was like, no way, he's not going to do that. He's not going to do the morning show. And then
who
Joe
said you're not going to do the?
Well, no, Jason just
really?
Because he knew me from
the wild show upstairs.
He didn't know me. And what Jason probably knew about were the complaints that were coming in on our TV
what
show
the hell is
upstairs.
he doing up there?
And so that's how Jason knew me.
Right.
And so Joe says, no, I think it's going to be good. And Joe, I've known Joe for a lot of years. And anyway, so Jason trusted Joe, and I had a trial period here. Joel and I did for 3 months. I guess it was a trial period. And You know, we were here every day. Jason was impressed that we didn't miss a day. We didn't. We were here every single day during snowstorms, during everything. And the reason is because I have a passion for it. Like you with the writing and your music and even your broadcast career. It's you know, it's something that I didn't think was possible until I asked somebody.
Yep. So you just made one little move.
And, you know, I got the word about, I don't know, 5-6 months before we actually started the program, and we got it going. And, you know, I'm glad I did it, you know, so that's what I'm trying to tell everybody. If you got something in your mind and you're afraid of rejection or whatever, the worst thing someone can do is say no.
Yeah, don't worry about rejection. Don't worry about it, rejection, man. Just keep plugging. And Pete, just a couple comments about that. It's like we are so lucky to have. There's about three things. 95.3 FM. We are so lucky to have this down here. Okay, and the fact that we have this outlet down here in this fantastic radio station that's run by two great guys, Jason and Joe, right? And then your show, I mean, whether or not, you know, I play a little role in this, whether or not.
Oh, you do?
Your show is so flipping good because I just walked in and I met Mike today, right? But I know Mike. I feel like I've known Mike. Eric. I feel like I know Eric from hearing every single morning.
Sorry about that.
He's great. I don't know who the guy is that comes in here on Thursdays. Gonzo, is that?
Yeah, he's been coming on. He's been coming on.
I really like Darryl is great. So it's great. And then I just want to say thank you, too, because had I not, that's a great thing about Manchester, had I not known the Prince of Queens City Taxi, Mr. Louis Applebon, he's the one who got me in onto your show, which led me into sitting down with Jason after your show about doing a show here. So I want to officially thank the great Louis himself for, you know, helping to put this all together.
No, Louis is another guy that listens to the program since it began. You know, it's a lot of fun, you know. You know, it's funny because people think, oh, wow, it's great and stuff. It's harder than people think to do every morning, but it's not hard. It's not really hard for me. I don't, you know, I come in with an outline of what the show's going to be and things just kind of happen. And I've always been like that.
Ben Dion outline?
Well, no.
No.
That doesn't happen.
No, I cut the show into four parts, and that's it. I just let it rip.
Yeah.
And I'm just myself, you know, faults and all on the radio. You know, I told you about, you know, you must have heard about Grease 2.
Oh, what happened with Grease 2?
Well, I like it better than Grease 1.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that's blasphemy.
I know. It is blasphemy.
But Pete, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I talk about the title right there, you know, Notes from the Last Breath Farm, Music Junkies Quest to be Heard. And so we're all on these quests, so like through the artists and stuff, the musicians that I met on this quest to be heard. So why are you on a quest to be heard? Why do you need to be on the radio? Now, if I took the radio away from you, how would that change Pete White?
Oh, if you took the radio away from me? Well, I probably wouldn't. Geez, I don't know. You know, that's funny. I don't think of that as far as taking the radio away. The quest, though, was something kind of like you, where I was always lucky enough to have, you know, my parents, always lucky enough to have nice stuff. So I always had at a very young age, I had a small little flip open turntable. And as my parents knew that I was really getting into music, and I would sit in my room and play radio station, you know, get a Maxell tape and, hey, it's Peter White, la la la.
Yeah.
And I did it for years. I did it even in high school.
Yep.
I was an only child. So I sat in my room, and I mean, so it was almost like I was preparing myself for right now, but I wasn't ready because after high school, I did go to school for a little bit for broadcast journalism at Northern Essex Community College, because like you, my grades weren't, you know, they were mediocre in high school.
Yeah, but did you score 660 on your SATs? Because I did.
Yeah, I don't even remember. I don't even know.
Good news, they don't need them anymore.
Yeah, okay.
But So anyway, I got a job. My grandfather's like, well, you got to get yourself a good, you know, job with a pension, and, you know, go over to UPS. So went over to UPS. I graduated in 88, went over to UPS in 89, started working there part-time, loading, unloading, and working there part-time back then was like working full-time. You had bennies. You got paid a lot of money for a part-time job. And so I ended up leaving school. And because I was making money, and I'm just a stupid 20-something-year-old kid with really no vision of my future. but I was always interested in like music and all that. And then I don't know. I went through a period of not knowing maybe who I was.
Oh yeah.
I was busy. I was raising my daughter. I had just got divorced. So I mean, I was just trying to lay low.
Yeah.
I really was. And then, the TV show started. Me and my friend John Manning, Ryan Gorman, we did that TV show. It got me out of the house. It was a great night to hang out with friends and go out to dinner. And we did it for, with many people over the years. But it started with them and it ended with T and Joel. And, we had a blast doing that show.
How did that start?
We just did it. We just wanted to do it. We had a little podcast. There are two guys that make me laugh, John Manning, Ryan Gorman, and we get to my house and we do a little podcast called Mansterdam.
Okay.
And then we brought it to Manchester Public Television, and then John had left because he had other job things going on in his life. Ryan had other things going on in his life, and that's when Joel and Tibbetts they stepped in, but it I don't know. I got out there, and then that brings me to the 95.3 sticker I saw, and I'm like, because I didn't want to do cable access TV. I did like it because it was a night to get out with your friends and your buddies. We'd have a couple of drinks, we'd go to dinner, and then we go do this show. And that's what it was, and it was a lot of fun. But I take this show so seriously, and I know there's some days when I'm in a bad mood. You mentioned the time when Joel left. Last summer.
I was listening. It was riveting radio.
Right, and you
riveting, man. I had to go. Yes, riveting.
We've talked about it, and you're like, wow, you were kind of I could tell you were all fired up that morning, and maybe in a mood. And I think sometimes, the everyday listeners will be like, oh, what's going to happen today? He doesn't sound like he's in a good mood. You know what I mean? And I don't know.
That was pretty wild.
I don't know if it's a quest to be heard, because I really am humble about the show. I'm not out there. I don't like to say, hey, I got the morning show.
No, but Pete, like, what if this was taken away from you and you couldn't get up in the morning, right, and come to this show, right, and you're Pete White the father, right, and then you're Pete White the DJ, right, and the morning host, and I don't know. I wonder if that was taken away from you.
Yeah, it'd take a while to get over it, I'll tell you that.
To get over it, because it's got to be fulfilling to you at some point to come in here and sit in the chair, and I know you take it very seriously, because I know that you, just listening to you on the air, you approach this show as if you're making Howard Stern money, okay? But that's the way anything succeeds, is if you put yourself all the way into it.
It's one of the, I'm going to tell you, as far as, and just like you, a lot of people here don't realize, Matt Connaughton, Rob, Ben, Darryl here, and none of us, we're volunteers here at the station.
Yep.
I know people realize I work here at Manchester Public Television, but that does not start till 9 o'clock. I get paid at 9 o'clock, and then I work for a few hours programming the station. But I mean, I'm here because I absolutely love it.
Love it.
I mean, it is not work for me. This is just something that I always wanted to do. And sometime soon, I am going to debut some old tapes from the 1980s that I have of myself. When my voice hadn't changed yet, it was still a little high.
And the great thing about a station like this, my God, the other station, when you're working at a local access, it might be volunteers, but a volunteer type situation, but if you go to any of the other stations, right, down on the dial down here, which your show crushes their morning show. I don't care what you say. That is dreadful, canned trash, in my opinion. It's just boring. It is boring. Like we were talking about one time, it's like, it is all of this, Michael. It's like, hey, all right, let's get Sheila from Hooks It on the phone, right? Sheila, tell us what really gets you mad about your husband. And then there's this stupid cackle, you know what I mean?
Right.
This is like, I don't know. There's some realness to it. We get to take some chances.
Yeah.
I dig it.
I try to, like I said, some days, we go right up to that line some days.
Yeah.
But we never cross it. I don't think.
No.
But
I think we'll know when we cross it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got to tell you, a lot's been going on the Facebook Live from Dan Chesney in there. Good morning, Dan.
Dan. Big man. Big
he says,
He's awesome.
Rob's the best. See you at the Bookery tomorrow.
All right.
Well, with Dan right there, man, you follow his lead. If you're a writer, a first-time writer, I just follow what he does, man. And this is a guy that, he decided a number of years back to become a full-time writer, and he just went for it, and he is fantastic. Does the job promoting, and he writes, and I'm a big fan of Dan's.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
beautiful.
Me
Beautiful.
too. He, Miriam Banish wanted to let you know that she bought the book on Monday, and she has a 4-day weekend, so she's planning to read it.
Thank you, Marianne.
So, Miriam.
Thank you, Miriam.
We screw up people's names here anyway, but that's all right, Rob. So, so I really think it's good. You kind of inspired me. I love it that, let me ask you this, though. We grew up around the same time, and I feel like I went through the same high school stuff as you did.
Yeah.
You know, Rob talks about having like a blemish on his nose, and everyone making fun of him for weeks.
Me and my buddy, I got this to this day, Peter. I use alcohol wipe once a day on my nose because of the anguish and the torture I went through. I didn't really get acne as a kid, except once I got this zit on the tip of my nose, right? That me and my friend Derek Richards, I had to get rid of it. So we went home. I can remember being in the upstairs bathroom. He took my father's Brute cologne, and we dumped it on my nose, the tip of my nose, and then we took a sewing pin and plunged it in to the nose.
Right.
When no pus came out, it just accentuated the whole entire welt, where I had to bury my head in my chin, basically, and walk around for a number of weeks, and my school people just calling me Rudolph, just torturing me. It was horrible, horrible.
And when you're that age, it kills you. And you try not to let it bother you, but it
Are you
does.
kidding me? I wanted to move to a mountain.
Yeah, like you just didn't want to. Wow, it's funny. And a lot was going on when we grew up. It was like, the whole MTV thing came out. We're first generation MTV.
MTV, I had never heard of Bruce Springsteen in my life, and I had an epiphany moment. I was down in my basement, and I walked upstairs, and we had this little living room, little den, where my sister was in there watching MTV, which had just come out. And I walked past that room, I looked in, and I saw this guy, and it was Bruce Springsteen on that video, Dancing in the Dark.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember leaning back and going, well, now I got some flipping guidelines. I don't know who this guy is, but I want to be just like him.
Right.
And so that was my start of becoming just a big Bruce Springsteen fan as well.
Well, listen, let's take a little break. We'll come back. We'll talk some music.
Okay, buddy. I'm here.
You're listening to Peter White. Call us at 250-6007. It's the morning show.
Good morning, Manchester. Here's Peter White.
All right, we are back here. It's Thirsty Thursday. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Good morning to everyone in the Facebook Live room, 250-6007. We have been talking to Rob Azevedo about his new book, Notes from the Last Breath Farm, a music junkie's quest to be heard. Riveting radio this morning. Mike Martineau is here.
Good morning.
Darryl is off, taking a break for a second, but that's okay. He's 70. So another thing, music, okay?
Yeah.
We talk about playing with action figures, your Steve Austin set, or whatever. When that was all done,
I loved that.
Let me
The Rat
ask you,
Patrol.
though, right around the time He-Man characters came out, we were a little bit too old, but they still kind of intrigued me.
Yeah, after the 18, my last run at action figures was Mr. T and Face Man and what was his name?
Man.
Remember Face Man on the
Yeah.
A-Team? Yeah, so they had action figures. So that was about my last foray with I remember being at school one time and bringing some action figures still. I don't know if I was like, and oh boy, and that was the last because I just got ragged on because I brought some action figures. I'm like, oh, this isn't cool anymore.
Right.
I guess
Apparently
it wasn't cool
not.
anymore, man, because
No.
I got trounced that day.
Yeah, but then, so you know what? You really got into music, and there's I know you listened to some Motown stuff that made you feel good that your mom would listen to in the morning while she was making breakfast, and it made you feel good. But then, what turned you on to Elvis Presley?
Oh, well, I didn't really know who Elvis Presley was until August 1977. He died. And we used to get the Boston Globe every Sunday, during the week. My father was huge at the Globe. And I remember being upstairs in my house, and on that Sunday, the Globe put out this picture of Elvis. And it had, it was like Fat Elvis.
The current one.
The current Elvis. And it had the lyrics to Love Me Tender down the bottom. And then it said, Elvis Presley, born this date, died this date. And I looked at that picture. And I couldn't take my eyes off it. I was captivated by this man. I was like, who on earth is this?
Was it a velvet painting of Elvis?
No, it was just a print, like an insert.
Right, okay.
So he died, and so it was just an insert that was in the Globe. And I can see it right now in my mind's eye. And from that point forward, I remember looking at that and saying, this guy is definitely I might not be anything right now, but this guy is something. And I want a piece of that. You know what I mean? And he had the rings, he had the collar, he had the hair, he was jowly, he was tanned. And so then I just started rating my parents, and I'm like, oh, I found this record called Pure Gold. And then I started going to Stairway to Heaven, and I would buy some Elvis records there as well. Come on, everybody, and turn your head to the left. I don't know. So I just fell in love with Elvis. And actually, just last Wednesday, I was outside of Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee, and I signed the wall.
Oh, really?
I signed the wall at Graceland. And I went to Sun Studios, and I stood in that little tiny studio, which is no bigger than this room.
Where he recorded?
Where he recorded, where he recorded his first hits.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really, really something. I always say this, like, I wasn't an Elvis fan growing up, and believe it or not, in my adult life, I've really appreciate what he did for music.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't played in my house. I guess that's what I'll say. So that's why I wasn't familiar with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
and
wasn't
then
played
recently,
in mine either.
in the past 3 years, we do an Elvis hour and a half on Mondays or whatever, and I'll sit here and I'll be doing my work, and I'm like, what the hell is this Elvis song? And it was something from a movie, a song called Crawfish, or something like that. And I'm like, this is great.
Right. So many hits.
What a talent.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. So then you fell in love. You fell in love with this, and then it kind of branched off from that, because that's what I did. I was always as a young guy listening to the radio, say freshman year or whatever. I was listening, Kiss 108, WHTT in Boston, and WZOU with Mike Morin. Remember Mike? Mike Morin. He's on. He's back on morning radio now at Frank FM. But when he was young, when he was first starting out, he had a morning show at WZOU that competed with Maddie in the Morning.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was just listening. I knew the charts. I could tell you, hey, "Cruel Summer" by Bananarama is #1 this week.
Sure.
But then as I grew out of that, because music was always, as it is today, always changing.
Yep.
Different generations. And then I started going into my my stepfather's record collection, pulling out Moody Blues, pulling out, just everything, just everything. And then I'm like, okay. And then, here comes Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Yeah.
And which I knew that, I knew Another Brick in the Wall and everything like that, but I didn't know.
But then you find song 7 on that, and those are the deep cuts, and that's when you start to really learn about an album or a band, is when you get beyond the hits. You go into song 6, song 7, song 8 on albums.
Oh, yeah. And back then we all knew like, okay, well, this is the beginning of side 2. I could even do it with some of those records now. Yeah. Like on a CD, because you don't get that side 2 feel. Right. Because it runs straight through.
Concurrent, yeah.
Or if you were sitting there, it took a certain amount of effort to pick that needle up and go from song 2 to the end of it.
You ruin your needle.
It was a whole exercise in music, because you're reading the lyrics off of the insert of the jacket. Yep. It was the best.
Yeah, I always say, and I try to get it out there to everybody, and you mentioned it in the book, that basically, and you've talked about it too, Darryl, is that, there's songs in your life that you've heard. It might have been at, a barbecue in 1976, but you're like, oh, I remember the day I heard that song.
You take it with you.
Yes, and they, like I always say, music is a soundtrack of your life. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, even today.
Oh, Pete, there's a song. Remember the beat, Darryl, Obla-dee, Obla-da?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Life
Well,
goes
I
on.
hate that song.
Yeah.
I hate that song with a passion, and I don't like the Beatles because that is associated with me. I remember being in high school and walking out of a party in Melrose, and the last thing I heard was that song, and then the next morning I had heard that my girlfriend slept with the high school football captain,
Oops.
and so
Oh.
I could all I do is associate that
Those two events.
Yeah, those two events.
So that ruined
the Beatles for me forever.
That's all right, though. That's a legitimate reason.
Yeah.
You don't want to go
Exactly.
back to that day.
No.
I want to mention, without getting too deep into this, because I want people to go check you out at the Bookery tomorrow night. But
What time does that start?
6:30.
6:30?
Yeah,
Okay.
6:30 at the Bookery. I will be there. I think it'll probably be about an hour or so long. And I'm bringing along some very special guests. Kate West from Concord. Katie Dobbins, she lives down in Boston. She's from Tilton. Nick Ferraro, local boy, and then the great Jasmine Mann. She'll be there performing as well. And then we're having a big after party at the Ukrainian Club.
Okay, wow.
Where there'll be a live music as well.
All right, so
Bring it.
definitely check that out. I'm going to touch
Absolutely.
upon one more thing in the book, and I wanted to talk about your wife for a second, if that's
Flower.
okay.
Yeah.
And that's when I started reading it, because, I know you from around the station. We talk. We've been to a few things, and but, we don't know each other real personally yet. And I didn't know you. I find it intriguing that your wife's name was Flower. And I just wanted to ask you, how did she get the name Flower?
Well, nickname Flower. Her name's Julie, but I don't ever call her Julie.
No,
unless I'm pissed.
No, did you nickname her? Or
yeah, I did. I actually, my brother-in-law, my oldest sister Lynn, I remember my brother-in-law referring to her one time as Flower when they were dating, when he was like a late teen and stuff like that. So I don't know. I stole it, and it's stuck on Jewel, and she's tattooed on my back. And we met 29 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, at Plymouth State College. We've been married for 18 years. We got a couple kids, one at Hillside and one at Central. And she's been there she's gone right through through the writing. She's seen the highs, the lows, the good stuff, the bad stuff.
Is she musically inclined?
No, not at all. She's likes the Eagles and Fleetwood Mac. And
Right.
She never takes it off, ZID.
Let's, yes.
Yeah.
Let's,
And plus,
Top 40.
she's never heard me do a radio show. She doesn't read any of my stuff. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, whatever.
Let's.
You're not going to get a bad review from her.
No, because you don't hear
Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Peter. This is Karen. How are you this morning?
Hi, Karen. How are you this morning?
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Good. First, I want to hope that and wish the best success for Rob on his book. But I have a question for him.
Okay.
It's been really fun. It's been really fun listening to the show because you and Rob enjoy the same thing. You've read his book. I haven't read his book yet. But my question is, just listening to the two of you and how you can connect to it, do you think the book is more enjoyable to guys, or would girls get a...
Oh, I think both. I was asked this question by the Hippo this week. This book, I think, is geared towards a high school student to all the way up to postgraduate. It's those years that you think you are alone and you think you're the only person who has felt this way, that has felt like a nobody, that you feel like, that you're out on an island by yourself, in that you think the thoughts that you have, that you're all on your own, and then leading up to after college, because after college or after work, like Pete said, those years, your 20s are brutal, absolutely brutal, because you're trying to find yourself.
Oh yeah,
and it's just your 20s are made for suffering. And if you can make it through that suffering, which you've got to make it, you have no choice but to make it through the suffering, and take little steps to fulfill yourself, big or little tiny steps, and then you will see it will come to fruition. And it's not going to come in currency. It's not going to come. It's just going to come in self-fulfillment, ma'am. I don't know if that means, and it's for men and women.
And do you think it has, well, Darryl likes music, so he doesn't matter age-wise for him, but how do you think, older will still enjoy your book?
I would think so, because then you can look back on it, because I've had women reach out to me who are, older, little older than me and stuff, and they've read it, and they have said, my mom, it's so funny, you know what I mean? I really connected with you because I think it's like we had the same mother. And
for me, Karen, you said, wow, it sounds like you guys are really connecting here after reading the book. But you know what I think is at the most, we are the same age, almost, we're the same age. And so we went through, I guess when I read it, I kind of, I'm like, here's Rob, right, doing all this stuff down in
Melrose.
See, I always say Malden, Melrose, I get
Same
all those
thing.
confused.
It's the same.
But here I am up here in Manchester living in a parallel life, but kind of going through some similar things where, it does make you feel, and we all feel sometimes, especially at those like tender ages of being a teenager and kind of becoming an adult. I mean, it's, we've all gone through stuff, and I guess that's why you got that kind of connection today.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just want to tell you that the show is great. The connection about the book and you and Rob, the energy's fantastic. So you guys have a great morning. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you, Karen. Wow, very nice. Karen listens to the program every day also.
Yes, she does.
So,
I love her input.
And I'm telling you, that's the best thing. Like, that's the best thing I can hear is someone saying, I'll be walking down the street or someone texts me, oh, great show today.
Right.
Great show today. And it just shows me that people are listening because the station is an LP station and it's smaller. So there is no way to target an audience other than, you guys in the Facebook live room, word of mouth, social media.
It's the only way you can track it,
but
right?
It's the connection, Pete. If it doesn't take, I don't need thousands of people. I just need somebody to find out that somebody's listening, that somebody read it.
Right.
You know
exactly.
what I mean? And that's it. The goal is fulfilled.
Yeah. Like for me, and I always tell people, there's a lot of ways to get this show. You got Channel 97, you got the stream at WMNHradio.org. But I always tell people the best way to listen to this show is if you're right here in Manchester on 95.3. Go out and get yourself an old radio. And I think that's the best way because, it's theater of the mind.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I love it. I like getting reactions out of people. And keeping people from changing that dial, I guess, is what you don't want because that happens all the time. We're all so ADD. Commercial comes on, okay, I'll listen to this one. I'll do this.
Yep.
And for I know there's a handful of people out there that have listened to the show since it started, and I can't say enough. You know what I mean?
Sure. And we're only I believe with 95.3, we're just getting started.
I agree.
We are we're pups here. And this show is just getting started, and we've got some great talent here. Like you say, from Kyle to Ben to Matt in the afternoon, and obviously you. We're just warming up, baby.
Yeah, it is. It's great. The show must go on. I always say.
We love it.
I always say. So again, check out Rob. Notes from the Last Breath Farm. Are you is this it for you, or do you have other things going on?
Are you kidding me? What, the book? Do I want to do another?
Yeah, no. Are you? I know you're probably gonna. You got to go back to your column and stuff. But do you have anything else that? Any other goals?
I want to write a second book.
Okay.
I've already pitched my publisher, and he said, "Buddy, you got to relax."
Right.
He said, "Right." He goes, "You're not one for living in the moment." And I said, "You're damn right, I'm not one." I said, "I need a project." You know what I mean?
So he wants you to see how this shakes out first.
Right. And so I already know what I'm going to write about, and I want to have it called Notes from the Last Breath Farm, Volume 2. Queen City Blues, and I want it to be all about the Queen City.
Oh, that's going to be something.
Man. Just every story about the Queen City.
You enjoy it, and you go into almost every nook and cranny too.
Yeah, I love Manchester. I know this is your hometown. I came here.
I love it that you love it.
I love Manchester. I drive down Elm Street at least once every single day, and I love the people. I love, right, Mike? I love the people. I love the conversations. I love you can get, like I was telling, I can go find places and get dirty as dirty gets.
Yep.
Or I can go, throw a tie on and, be that dude in Manchester and just travel a few blocks and do that. So I love Manchester very, very much.
That's awesome. I love that. And best of luck to you, Rob.
Thank you so much for having me on, Peter.
Oh, man. I'd love having you on the show. I really do.
Yeah,
I really appreciate you being part of the station. I believe you, like, soon as we started this show, you and I have been on the air just about the same amount of time.
Yeah.
Because it was only maybe a month or two later where Louis brought you in.
I feel like maybe a little. You were here a little bit longer.
Okay.
I think.
Had you already known about the show?
Yes, I knew about your television show. And then, Louis would drive me around late night. He'd drop me off at home all the time if I was, a little twisted downtown.
Right.
And then he was like, Louis a big supporter. And he was like, I got to get you on the show. They're going to love you down there. And so, and he got me on the show. And so I want to thank him. Louis, I hope
That's how we met. We met on the air.
Yes, we did.
We met on the air.
Yep.
And that was good.
Louis great. A couple weeks ago, it was like my dog's going crazy at like 5:30 at night. I'm like, what are you going crazy about? I look outside. Louis standing in my front lawn, just looking up at the roof of my house. Whoa. And I'm like, Louis, what are you doing? And he's like, this house belongs in Revere, Robbie. This house, this house could fit in Revere. So I'm like, get in here. I just ordered a pizza, so he come in and had some pizza with me.
Yeah, Louis is great.
So cool.
Louis is great. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone in the Facebook Live.